What's up guys, YST here and welcome back to another Raid Shadow Legends video. And apart from the fact that I just filmed this entire video for about 30 minutes just to find out that I didn't click record, is not going to stop me from doing it again. So yeah guys, today we're going to be taking on IRAGOTH the Eternal Dragon in floor 120 of the Hard Doom Tower. Now I've tried to build an accessible team here using Drexar Blood Twin, 3 epic champions, and the recent fusion of Tatua Rhymehide. Now I'm going to be speaking about ways you can change this composition, the kind of core teams that you kind of want to build, the stats you need to focus on, and how to counter this dude. So let's just kick things off by heading into this boss guide on the right hand side and talking about the main aspects of why this boss is so difficult. Now the main thing is he places your skills on cooldowns, which is where high resistance does come into play for this boss. And of course we're going to break down the stats towards the end of the video. He also fills his turn meter by 5% for every turn remaining on enemy skill cooldowns, which is a little bit annoying, but it's not going to affect our run today. Now let's talk about the Eternal Priest and the Eternal Guards. So when IRAGOTH gobbles them up, he kind of procs this Eternal Rage, which can ignore 50% of your target's defense, and it can be really detrimental and smack you like a truck. And the way to kind of counter this is having a consistent decrease attack on the boss, high resistance so you do not have drop defense on your champions, and also passives to keep you alive, which is pretty much the reason why we're bringing in a cleanse with Doom Priest and Vogoth for his passive. There's also other ways you can do it, which we will talk about a little bit later on, but that's kind of like the basics of it. The Eternal Guards as well, they kind of heal him by 15% here of his max HP, which just longs out your runs. But is it completely annoying? Yes, but it's not going to affect the end result, right? Now, the way that we're going to be countering that today is focusing on just the IRAGOTH. Now, occasionally you might go to the right or the left, depending on provokes, etc. But if you're running that high resistance that I keep banging on about, you're able to just consistently attack with the A1s or your A2s or A3s on that boss. Okay, so let's discuss the core team here. Now, it's kind of based off HP burn, which deals a great bunch of damage against these side minions and the boss, because he's got a passive that can inflict burns onto targets that's attacking him. Then we've also got a Doom Priest for the cleanse to block those block active skills, and also the drop defense if they manage to kind of sneak their way through on champions like Drexar, who actually has no resistance in his team today. Neither does he have books either, which is pretty fun. We've got Jarek for his passive heals, and also for that drop attack on the A1. Really amazing. Now, Tatua Rhymehide here is kind of like a budget variation of a Duchess, because he applies a perfect veil, which has a 15% damage mitigation on all of your champions. Now, he's going to be running in a high resistance, around 350 plus, because the IRAGOTH does have a 350 accuracy, and he's kind of the main person that I need to have high resistance, because I'm kind of relying on his skills here to put into effect. But even without the resistance, he's able to put that decreased accuracy on the A1. That kind of allows me to have less resistance on my other champions to be able to counter those debuffs. Vogoth, he has a 25% AoE heal when champions are attacked, and he also has the leech, so your other champions who don't have lifesteal or stuff like that are able to fill back up their HP to last throughout the run. So let's get into it. Okay, so this team here is full auto, but I do highly recommend that you kind of just start with an A1 on the boss here, because we want to place that decreased accuracy with our Tatua Rhymehide. So let's just get that on here. Let him do a little block cooldowns. And the only champion here with hardly any resistance is our Drexar Blood Twin. Everyone else only has a high enough resistance to counter the minions, so we don't get drop defense. Occasionally it does kind of sneak its way through, but that's why we have Doom Priest here to cleanse that block active skills, the provokes, or the drop defense, if it manages to sneak through, just like now. Now also we've got the passive heals from our Vogoth, and you can see that there's a leech, right? This is allowing us to focus on that boss and be able to fill our HP without multiple passive healers. The only healers here are Doom Priest with a 7.5% and Vogoth with his passive. That's about it. Of course we're going to talk about other options as well. And then we've got the perfect veil on Tatua Rhymehide to reduce 15% AoE damage to make up for not having Stalwart on our champions. if you bring in Stalwart, yeah, it's going to be amazing. But not having to bring Stalwart is probably a little bit better, right? A bit less gear intensive. Because let's be honest, who has a bunch of Stalwart laying around? Now you could start bringing in champions of increased speed, like maybe Apothecary or Scylla the Drakes is an amazing option as well. But this is the team that I wanted to rock with. It's a little bit different, a little bit fun, and I really wanted to showcase the value of Tutor Rhymehide. So I'll let you guys watch the rest of the run. Enjoy those little heals from that little minion there, and I'll catch you guys at the end. So there we have it, guys. We have got Drexar Bloodshin with 4 million damage. Remember, he is unbooked. He's just in a lifesteal set. He's got no resistance. We've got Doom Priest and Vogoth. Just enough resistance to be able to survive the decreased defense from the minions. Because if you do get drop defense, it could be detrimental. We've got Jarek here, the only champion in Stalwart. And we're relying on him to do those passives and also the drop attack on the A1. Tutor Rhymehide, as I keep banging on about, Perfect Veil, decreased accuracy, and also a block debuffs, which is really amazing, with an increased defense as well. So this is kind of the team that I've been rocking, and I think it's pretty fun, right? We got that little Sacred Shard, but of course I cannot show you the pool, because I just recorded this video, but we got Arndolf, for anyone that is interested. So let's get into other champions you may want to use, right? Let's get into it. Alright, so let's take a little trip into the index and champions that I would kind of sub in here, right? So champion number 1 would be Sepulchre Sentinel, in the kind of realm of where Tutor Rhymehide was. Places that increase defense, places that block debuffs. She's got a decreased attack on the A1 as well, in case you do not have a Jareg, and can also completely block incoming damage on one ally on a 1-turn cooldown with a 50% chance. This is really nice for like RNGing your way for your runs, and was actually the reason why I could beat the first time when I first ever beat this boss, all of those rotations ago. Another great choice would be a paid mod from the Demon Spawn, and she has a 100% chance of placing a decreased attack debuff on all enemies as long as this attack is critical. Now, do you need high resistance on her? No. But of course, use that aura of Drexar Blood Twin and kind of optimize a bit of resistance, just enough to resist the minions on the side. I'm going to talk about the stats very soon. In terms of other champions here, Barbarians, how can we not talk about Scylla the Drakes? An amazing champion. We've got decreased speed. We've got AoE stun to kind of stun the minions. We've also got ally protection with a revive. And we got that passive 10% heal and increased speed. The only reason I didn't showcase her today is because I think she's been shown in a lot of videos, right? And I wanted to show it was possible without a revived champion. But also a huge shout out to my boy Soda Dragon Gaming, who did an amazing video with Orcs and Vrask. Now, he has a video where he used 2 Vrask, a Drexar Blood Twin, and I think that was about it. And he did like a trio with Jareg, I believe. Could have been a 4-man team, but Vrask is amazing. So what he does is, heals all allies by 10% of his max HP when he inflicts a critical hit. Now this champion does hit pretty hard, and if you're dealing with like a high HP, he's going to be able to be really useful in your teams. Any other honorable mentions I'd think of here? Oh yeah, how could I forget? Underpriest Brogany, amazing. So we got that shield that can also reflect damage, but also heal our allies, right? He also has a block debuffs, a shield, and all of that good stuff. And when I first ever did this rotation, I didn't have a Drexar Blood Twin. Now, I did prioritize the A1 on manual, and I was able to complete the run. Was it 100%? Far from it, but it was still effective and managed to get me that avatar. If you do have any other recommendations, be sure to use the comment section below and state other champions, right, to kind of help each other out on taking on this boss. Now, let's just get into the stats and facts of my champions that I used today. So let's kick it off with Tatua Rhymehide, I guess. He's pretty much the one with the highest resistance here. And what I had to do here was put him with above 350 resistance because IRAGOTH has 350 accuracy. Now, is this consistent? I would love to be a little bit higher, but I needed the speed to be just a little bit faster than the 250 base speed of IRAGOTH to enable that decreased accuracy on that first turn, if you've seen it in the run. And that allowed me to drop down the resistance on the rest of my champions. And we've just got sustainability, right? We're aiming for HP, we're aiming for defense, and we're not worrying about crit rate in these builds. Now, the accuracy here is a little bit low because the resistance is 330, I believe. I will leave a link below of all of the stats from Ayumi Love, so be sure to check that out for all of the boss stages and the minions. But remember, we've got a Drexar Blood Twin for the accuracy aura, which kind of puts them in that realm to be able to place that decreased accuracy on a consistent basis. So in terms of the skills here, decreased accuracy, block debuffs, increased defense, and also that perfect veil for damage mitigation. Passive is amazing because he places that freeze, and if the minions are attacking with AoEs, he's able to put a freeze on them on like a 30% chance, but it allows those burns to able to cycle through a little bit faster and speed up the process of your run, right? Really amazing. And he's also got reflect damage on himself, which just adds to that damage. Masteries that I used on him was the offensive and the defensive tree. I've gone for War Master, but potentially you could go Fearsome Presence for an extra chance of the freeze. But I highly recommend War Master on this dude. Next champion that I used today was Drexar Blood Twin. No, that's Tyrant. Where's Drexar? Force Affinity, there you are. Now, we've got this champion in a lifesteal set. Because we're only using an A1, we've got no resistance at all. We're just relying on the passives, and that's about it. And the A1 ability. So we got 50k HP, 4.8k defense. Speed is really low. I'm literally just relying on that passive, if I'm honest. And whichever turns he does take. 300 accuracy. Once again, we are using this aura for all of our champions. If you do not have this aura, you're going to have to sub in extra accuracy. But of course, he's got a burn, he's got provokes on the AoE, and he's got a HP burn passive. No books here at all. Amazing, right? Masteries, offensive down to Giant Slayer for that triple hit A1, and the defensive tree just for this blast proof, mainly, and the counterattacks if you can get there. I haven't quite finished off his masteries yet. The next champion here is going to be, where is he? Man of the match, Jareg. There he is. So this is the only champion today that I put in Star Wars to reduce 30% AoE damage. I do highly recommend bringing this in if you can. I wanted to showcase that it's not mandatory, right? You don't need it, but if you can bring it, it really does work out. Now, the overall stats for this champion is 60k HP, 2.8k defense. Once again, we're running very slow here in consideration of IRAGOTH's 250. Crit rate and crit damage we don't matter about. Accuracy once again is a little bit low, a little bit inconsistent, but it's okay with that aura. It does land most of the time. Resistance, you actually don't need it this high on Jareg. I'm not sure why I have it. Maybe I was supposed to put accuracy banner instead. Alright, but it still worked out, right? It doesn't matter. But yeah, around here you just want to be able to resist the minions. So you're looking at about 250 resistance on the rest of your champs, and have a high resistance on the champions that you kind of want to use more skills, like a Tatua Rhymehide. The main thing is you don't want drop defense. If you get that, when Eternal Rage procs, it could be really detrimental. Masteries, we've gone the offensive tree, and the support tree trying to extend that decreased attack debuff. Skills, you kind of want to block off this A2, because if you place that ally protection, wipe. Your Jareg's dying, alright? So just skill lock that with priority, and just put a nice little decreased attack, and focus on this passive. Next champion is going to be Vogoth. Talking about passives, let's lead into his. We've got a Leech, which just places, allowing your other champions to heal up to full. And then whenever this champion is attacked, heals all allies by 25% from boss attacks. Now, when paired with a Guardian set, the wearer absorbs 10% of all damage dealt to all allied champions and heals by 10% every single turn. Now, do you need a Guardian set? No. Do I highly recommend it? Yeah, it's pretty cool in Vogoth, but it's not necessary, you don't need it. Now, overall stats on this champion, we're aiming for HP, we're aiming for defense. The speed is criminally low to show how much value this dude has. Resistance, once again, just to resist those side minions, and the accuracy, just to kind of, you know, with that A1 he increases the duration. So pretty nice for Giant Slayer and increasing the duration of the drop attack, and also a provoke on the AoE, which is really nice, right? So that's pretty much what we're using him for. He actually has an accuracy aura as well, but it's not as good as Drexar Blood Twins. So if you don't have a Drexar, could be a good little substitute there. So to finish off this champion list that I used today, we have got a Doom Priest who's there literally for the cleanse, right? Rest of it doesn't matter, so I've geared her in a lifesteal set just so she can heal herself up to full and cleanse those block active skills and all of that crazy stuff that might sneak through on a 3% chance. In terms of the gear sets, well, the stats, we've got a 55k HP, 3.1k defense. We're running her the fastest in the bunch, so she's able to cycle through those abilities and cleanse our champions. We've got a 310 resistance. I am not sure why. She doesn't need accuracy, so I thought, let's just throw a bit of resistance in there, right? And the accuracy does not matter. Masteries, we're looking to counterattack to heal herself back up to full. And of course, the offense tree for that War Master damage. So that kind of wraps up the video for today. I hope you find it useful. And be sure in the comment section below to state champions that you like to use. Also, if you enjoyed this content, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button for more videos like these. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.